Welcome back to another video on Top Talk Sports. Today we're going to be reviewing the match week 1 of the World Cup 2026 from the 11th of June to the 18th of June. Let's go. Hi guys, this is my first video on the YouTube channel. I've already uploaded a video on my Instagram, so if you want to see that, the ads is going to be up here. I'm going to place it up here. And yeah, let's just get into this video. The first match was Mexico versus South Africa. As you can tell, or maybe can't tell, I am a South African, proud South African. And over on my Instagram, we did predictions for that game. And as many of you, or none of you saw, I predicted that Mexico would beat South Africa 2-0, which did in fact happen. This game was just, it wasn't a good game for South Africa. They just really did not get going. Mexico also didn't play the best, but they did what was needed to win, and they got the result. The next game was Korea versus Czech Republic, which ended in a 2-1 Korea win, which was very happy for me because Czech Republic played some horrible football, just some abysmal football. And they did score first, but Korea fought back and got the 2 goals that they needed. Korea are a scary team to look at before. As I'm recording, some of the games from Match Week 2 happened, which is one of the Korea games as they lost to Mexico. But that's not what we're here for today. As of game week 1, they were very good, and I can't wait to see what they do against South Africa. Here I'm going to mash up 2 games into one, Canada versus Bosnia and USA versus Paraguay. Canada ended up drawing 1-1. It was a mid-game, to be honest, not much to be said there, as USA battered Paraguay 4-1 on their home soil. A very good display from the all-around team, as the guys who call it soccer just might have a chance of winning the World Cup. Obviously, I'm joking. I don't think the team is good enough to win the World Cup. However, they did cap up a good display, and they probably will make round of 16. The next game was Qatar versus Switzerland, as that game ended 1-1. A pretty boring match as Switzerland took the lead early on, and then obviously Qatar got a last-minute own goal to go their favor and obviously draw the game 1-1. Brazil versus Morocco, one of my most anticipated World Cup games of the group stage, and it did not live up to expectation. It was good in the first half as Morocco showed that they should be winning this game, and they did score first, but Brazil equalized with a wonderful Vini goal. But overall, I just think after the first half, the quality of play just lacked a little bit, and that was just it for me. But 1-1, that was a good game. First. Now I have 2 games I'm just going to bundle up together. Scotland versus Haiti and Australia versus Turkey. Scotland ended up beating Haiti 1-0. Kind of convincing, but it was a mid-match, and that's why I'm bundling the 2 together. Australia beat Turkey 2-0. Good goal by Irakunda, and that's really all I saw from that game. But yeah, those are just 2 filler games for the next 2 games. Now, the next game was Germany versus Curacao. That game ended 7-1. Imagine, a whole 7. Anyways, Germany scored first, and Curacao actually equalized to score their first ever goal in a World Cup ever. And then they led in 6. But, that was a good game. After the 5th or 6th goal, I kind of just left it because the game was practically over. But good job, Curacao, for showing up. Then I have one of my best games of the group stages so far, Netherlands versus Japan. I mean, this was just a very good game. Netherlands scored first, Japan equalized, Netherlands, Japan. It was just amazing. Obviously, the Japanese players are not the tallest, and the commentators actually telling them to stop crossing the ball. And funny enough, a minute later they scored. I'll play the clip right now. All in all, that just capped off a very great game to watch, and I'm glad I stayed up for that one. The next 4 games were Ivory Coast versus Ecuador. We had Switzerland versus Tunisia, Spain versus Cape Verde, and obviously Belgium versus Egypt. Now, the 3 of those games were not really exciting. Belgium and Egypt ended up in a 1-1 draw as Lukaku came on and scored, well, listed as an own goal, but in my books, he scored after 23 seconds of coming on. That was just really special. Ivory Coast beat Ecuador with Yan Diomande putting on a show and skinning my boy in Cappy, which hurt me to see as an Arsenal fan, but he just really cooked him there. And the next game that I'm going to focus on, Sweden versus Tunisia. Now, this game wasn't really exciting at all. I mean, Sweden just dominated 5-1. I mean, Isak capped off a very great display after having a very lackluster season. And I'm very excited to see what Sweden can do in the next coming games. The next game I'm going to talk about is Spain versus Cape Verde. Well, obviously, Cape Verde, they're underdogs. Like, who even are they? Like, you can't even name three players from Cape Verde, bro. But Spain came into this game thinking, pundits were busy saying Spain are going to win 9-0. And obviously, Virginia had something to say about that as he made 7 saves against Spain, capped off a very incredible display, and gained himself 14 million followers on Instagram. That is just crazy. But on Spain's point of view, I'm just saying that's very disappointing. Before Lamine Yamal came on, it was nothing was going on, and when he came on, they relied on him too much. As like someone who's 19, imagine, or 18. I'm not sure about his age, but someone who's that young of age, and you have to rely on him that much. And Ferran Torres, please pack your bags and get another job, bro. Saudi Arabia versus Uruguay 1-1. Very interesting game. I feel like that game was actually one of the stronger ones of the group stage. Keepers had a good game. I just feel like that game could have had maybe more goals, but goals not everything. But I feel like that was a very good game and one of the best of the group stage. 1-1. Now, the next game, I did not watch Iran versus New Zealand because I really didn't think that there'd be anything in it. Obviously, Elijah just scored 2 goals in a man of the match display. But other than that, I have really nothing to say about that match. But 2-2, each team gets 1 point, and we'll see what happens in the next game. Norway versus Iraq was a very good game for especially Erling Haaland as he almost scored a hat-trick. I think his third goal should have counted, but it actually went down as an own goal, which is fine because he scored 2 goals in the end. He showed ridiculous fights, and I think Norway are very, very scary dark horse. The next game being Argentina versus Algeria, where Messi obviously scored a hat trick. Wow, that hat trick was just something special from the boy. 38 years of age, scoring hat tricks in a World Cup, something Yoko just could never do. Austria versus Jordan, 3-1 to Austria. I did not watch the game because I was not waking up at 6 a.m. or staying up at 6 a.m. to watch Austria versus Jordan. But other than that, I think Austria could make a run. I'm not sure though. I need to watch a game from them. The next game was Portugal versus Congo, as Portugal actually opened the scoring very early in the game, and Congo obviously equalized right before the break. I think that was a very good game. Someone's goat obviously did not have a good game, but I think maybe he can bounce back and show the world what he's made of. But 1-1 there, and I'm happy from Congo, and with by far the best celebration in the tournament. England versus Croatia was next. I think that was a very good game from England. Obviously, Croatia scored 2 goals, which are very good goals. Can't even blame England there. But obviously, when Harry Kane gets going, he gets going. He obviously missed the penalty at the start. The keeper was off his line. He retook it. He scored. Then he scored a very good header crossed by Declan Rice. I think England are a very well-balanced team. Obviously, since they didn't call up stars of the likes of Cole Palmer and Phil Foden, I think this team offers a lot of balance. I think Madueke had a decent game, but he has to show something more if he wants to keep that starting spot. The players who came on, Saka, Rashford, and Cole. Rashford scored, Saka assisted. I think England, this is finally the year. Ghana versus Panama. I did not watch, but Panama obviously lost to a last-minute winner by the Ghanaian national team, which is very heartbreaking in my opinion. But obviously, I think that Panama can maybe show something in the next game. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure though. Colombia versus Uzbekistan, 3-1 to Colombia. I did not watch the game, but obviously, judging from the highlights, the quality of goals that were scored were very good. The quality of keeper, I'm not too sure though. You just have to wait and see what happens next. That third goal by Colombia, one of the best assists you're going to see in this tournament. The way he holds off his man and gets the ball into the box, and that header as well. Wonderful. And that wraps up my Match Week 1 overview from the FIFA World Cup. Now, some of the games from Match Week 2 have just started, but you're going to have to wait till next week to see what I think of them. And we're just going to have to wait till next week, till the next episode. Vamos!